Hello, this is Eki from Robocorp. Welcome to another episode of the video series Coding for Success. There's been lots of talk about the OpenAI and the Chat GPT. Let's see how easy it is to connect your Robocorp RPA to OpenAI GPT-3. Let's get started. Okay, the very first thing you will need is an API key for the OpenAI. You'll have to create an account, and under your user settings you can find API keys, and you can create a new secret key. And that is sensitive data that you should store safely. And I really recommend you to use Robocorp Control Room and the Vault. And Vault is a place designed for storing passwords and API keys and other sensitive data. Here I have a vault called OpenAI. And inside that there are key value pairs. And I have only one pair, and it's named key, and that here is my API key. Okay, so let's start to build a example robot. You need the Visual Studio Code, VS Code, which is free for you to download and use. And you also need two extensions that I have already installed. Robocorp code and robot framework language server. You can find those by searching for Robocorp under the extensions section. I have those installed, so I can go and start this demo. I have opened up a GPT-3/demo folder, but it's empty. So by pressing Ctrl, Shift, and letter P, I can get the command palette opened. And first we'll have to do is Robocorp create robot. And the extension gives us option on templates, but we are good to go with the standard robot framework template. And we will be using this folder that I have opened here. And we have created a robot. And the conda.yaml is a file which has the information on what Python version you want to run on this bot. It doesn't matter what Python, or you don't need Python on your machine. The RCC handles these versions. But the RPA framework OpenAI library, it's not included on this RPA framework. We have separate library, and we have to add that as a package. So I'll have to add a line RPA framework /OpenAI equals 1.0.1, which is currently the latest version of this package. And this will bring the OpenAI keywords for our robot. I save the file, and now I can go to the tasks.robot file. Yes, and the first thing we want to do, we need to authorize ourselves to OpenAI so the robot can ask for things and interact with OpenAI. And for that, we have a keyword here, authorize to OpenAI. And that automatically adds the library import for this robot. And two or more spaces, and we can insert the argument. And we can see that it is expecting an API key. And I could give the API key here, but as I told, that is really bad on security side. You don't want to store your passwords or secrets on plain text on your robot files. So let's get the API key from the Robocorp control room vault. And for that, I create a new variable by dollar and curly bracket signs. And the variable will be called secrets. And inside that, we want to store get secret. There are two versions. We'll be using the newer one, rpa.robocorp.vault. And now we can see it is expecting to have the secret name. And that was the OpenAI. Yes, and now instead of putting our super secret key here, I will tell that secrets variable has a key called key. And let's use that. So yes, now we are done. Robot will authorize to OpenAI. And the next thing, we probably want to ask something and get responses from the OpenAI. So let's create a new variable again. And this I will call response from OpenAI. And inside that variable, I want to have some completion create. We have keyword that will pass a prompt to OpenAI. OpenAI will respond, and we will store the response to this variable. Okay, so let's ask for write a description of photo combining 5 different animals on a strange environment. So this text will be forwarded to OpenAI. And this variable should contain the response describing this photo with the 5 animals. What to do with the variable? Let's create a file. So create file. And let's go with the rpa.file system. Path. Okay. I can provide just a file name, so that file will be stored here on the robot folder. And this would be response.txt and 2 or more spaces. And now we see it is looking for content. So response from OpenAI. And actually there is the overwrite, which is by default false. So we could say that it is true if we want to run this more than once. So the file will be overwritten. And that's about it. I think we are ready for the first shot. 4 lines, and we should have a txt file containing the response. Ctrl-Shift-P again, and run robot. So let's see what happens. It will take a time, and we should have here the response.txt file. Yes, here it is. This photo shows 5 different animals: fox, bear, deer, eagle, and rabbit. Oh, sounds interesting. And one thing that OpenAI is good at is like understanding the texts and extracting things from those. So let's do this. I create again a new variable. I will call it the animals. And I want to do another completion create for the OpenAI. And I will tell the OpenAI to extract the entities. I want to have animals from the following text in simple JSON format. I want to have a JSON file which lists these animals on the response. And then I'll have to give the variable that contains the response. So OpenAI will now read the response and it will extract the animals and give it on a JSON format. And we could create another file which would be called animals.json. And the content should be, yes, now as I run this robot again, it will get a new completion from the OpenAI. So the animals might be different that we saw earlier. But let's see what happens. I Ctrl+P and run robot. And soon we should have updated response.txt and animals.json file. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, elephant, lioness, cubs, zebras, and flamingos. Okay, pretty cool. Yes, and what else we could? I want to show you the one more keyword we have on OpenAI, which is image create. So let's forget about the JSON part and let's create a new variable. This is called image URLs. And to that variable, we will be storing the result of image create. This is from the RPA OpenAI library. And we want to have a image. We say create a painting based on the following description. And the description, as you might guess, is the response from OpenAI. This should make a painting based on the description that OpenAI has given us. And we can see here arguments. We can set the size and number of images. And that is by default, that is 1. I think we could have like a number of images and let's have 3 pictures. Yes, and this will give us a list formatted variable, a list variable. So to go through all those URLs, we need to use a for in keyword and see the auto completion on the extensions. We have a nice formatted for structure, and I want to say for each URL in the image URLs variable. Okay, I don't want to log it, but I would like to download each of the photos or the images. So I just say download the URL. Let's see what happens. Yet again, Ctrl+P and run robot. And we will again have updated version of the response txt here. And then we should have 3 images based on the response of the description from the OpenAI. Let's see, this takes some time. Okay, here we have our first image. Interesting. There are funny looking lizards. And we have another photo here. And a third one. Now I'll have to see the response. There's fox and some other animals. Yes, but there you saw how easy it is. We have few lines of code and we can get responses, we can create images. And one thing I would like to show is our portal, robocorp.com/portal. And here you will find over 100 robots that you can download. You can see how they are built and you can try those out. And I have downloaded this one example for this demo. And here we have a robot that will solve a Triviaplaza quiz using OpenAI to get the answers. So I have downloaded this and opened it to the VS Code. Yes, so here we can see it. And what it will do, it goes to the Triviaplaza.com and it will select. There was some default what it uses, but let's go with Norse mythology. I can copy the link address of this, and this would give me these kind of difficult questions. And the default one also works, but I want to show that you can change the URL to try different quizzes and see how it goes. I updated the URL, and let's see the Norse mythology. It average score 7.6. Let's see how our robot will go. Here, and what this does, it opens the browser, it starts the quiz, it reads the question and the 4 different answer options, and then it will get completion create, and it will ask which one of these is the correct one, and then it will select the answer based on the OpenAI's response. So let's see what happens. Ctrl+Shift+P and run robot. Yes, now we have a browser open. Oh, I didn't have time to read that one. Or neither that one. Oh, neither that one. Quite impressive. 6 out of 10. 7. Oh, 1 went wrong, but 9 out of 10. A minus, very good. I wouldn't get 9 out of 10 on this one. But that's all for now on OpenAI and Robocorp RPA. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Robocorp, where the world comes together to automate.